Well, hi, Charity. It's been a while.
It has been.
Yeah. So we got Charity Carson Hawke on the podcast tonight, and it's kind of like some news broke over the weekend. So I guess the last time I saw you, we were in Tampa. I came out for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Yeah, and then you had moved to Houston in the
Yep.
meantime. How's Houston?
Well, it's not Long Beach. it's not Tampa.
It's not that
So,
LA lifestyle.
no. Yeah, I'll be moving. I have my house in Esco, so I'll be moving shortly back to the West Coast.
Okay, and just for a quick refresher, we had met when you were in Arizona. You lived in Lake Havasu,
Yeah.
and we became friends. And at the time, you were friends with Ron Jeremy, and used to travel out whenever you were out in Hollywood. You would hang out with him because he was a buddy of yours.
Yeah.
And the first time we had you on the podcast, you were one of the first ones who had brought the sexual assault allegations against Ron.
Yes, I'm the one that worked with the investigators and opened up the case against the sexual assault case going on right now, or well, I guess it's not going on anymore. Yeah, I work with the LAPD and was the one that had him arrested.
And I'm not sure on that. And how many others also came forward after you came forward?
Well, right now there's 34 charges, 23 victims that are charged, like charged victims that are in the case, the trial, and then 12 counts of rape. So there was a lot more of a statute of limitation, so we couldn't do anything with those cases, but there's a lot more than 23 victims.
Yeah. And so in the meantime, what happened was he had these charges brought against him. He was arrested. He was in LA County Jail.
Yes, at the Men's Central Jail.
Okay. And then because of his declining health, this never went to trial, correct?
Yes, the DA had medical experts on their side, and then Ron's team had medical experts on his side, and both said that he has severe dementia.
So he was. Why did they detain him at the time? We're going to get to what this story is in just a second here. I mean, why was he still kept in custody after that?
Well, it kind of went on pause because of his health issues, and during the middle of the criminal trial, he was incoherent. He couldn't even recognize his own attorney. So that's when they decided to have medical experts that step in and evaluate him, and that's when they said he had dementia. But so it's been on pause basically, just to see if he would improve. But when you have dementia, it's a declining. It's not going to get better; it gets worse. So that's where we're at today.
So the twist on this, though, was before the news broke, you received an email that said what?
That with I don't have the email in front of me, but I can read it. Can I pull it up for you?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just sad because this is just...
Now, this is how you were informed, how you got the news.
Right.
Is this in an email? And I guess we can reveal it because it's been out on the news that he was released.
Yes.
Or he's being released.
Yeah, he's going to be released into his sister's custody, and the attorney. They have an attorney, Ellen. I believe her name is Finkenberg or something. And so they're trying to place him, which is kind of an issue going on right now. But yeah, he's being released.
Due to his deteriorating health.
Right.
But
I'm still trying to look for other ones,
what
I guess.
what was the? This is just kind of baffling, though.
It's unbelievable. I mean, there's so many victims and so much trauma that he's caused for not just mine, but 23 Jane Does and the other victims that are that have been violated, and he's basically gonna get away with it. So I mean, this is just horrible, you know.
Yeah, and I guess the shocking thing is the way you found out. Like, you had no warning other than getting an email that said, "Hey, this is happening."
Yeah, I have the email right here. Do you want me to read it to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says, since January of this year, I have been periodically appearing in Mr. Jeremy's court. He has been in county facility during that time, but he is the subject of a guardianship by the public guardian, which has been attempting to place him in a secure medical facility. Today we appeared in court, and the public guardian said it has been unable to place him because no medical facility will take him. As a consequence, they asked the court to release him to a private residence where they will provide round-the-clock medical care. They claim that this medical condition has deteriorated to a point that he is excessively bedridden. But I objected to his release, citing public safety concerns for the general public and specifically for the medical staff that is assigned to care for him. The judge overruled my objection and ordered him released to the public guardian for transport to a private residence. I feel very badly that this is where we are, but it is beyond our control. His mental and physical conditions deteriorated rapidly, and we are left with no other option. I'm sorry that we couldn't get complete justice for you in court. Please reach out if you have any questions or need anything from us. Paul, which is the DA on the case. And, we're not blaming Paul. We understand Paul's position. The judge is the one that overruled it. So, but what we're upset, we understand he has dementia, but we also know that he's a rapist. And he has 34 charges against him. And just to release him to the public, I mean, basically that's what they're doing. I believe they're trying just to get rid of him. I think they think he's about to die, and they don't want to deal with it. It's been a lot of problems from day one with him,
Why do you think, other medical facilities wouldn't take him?
Well, from what I know...
Now, this is all allegedly. We should say that.
Yeah. Through the grapevine, which is, we're all bonded now, that he was sexually assaulting the medical staff, and he thought he was on scene of a porno that he was doing, and he did it multiple times. And that's why Paul was trying to not release him, but the judge overruled it. So that's why it's like nobody wants him, and you're not safe around him. So who would want to take care of a person that's assaulting you while you're trying to take care of him? The man is obviously not right in the mind. I know dementia. I mean, I'm sure it's a sickening disease, but he's still sexually assaulting women.
Well, yeah, especially if his dementia is making him think that he's still in that industry.
Yeah, it's just mind-boggling. Like, for almost 4 years, and especially with me, I mean, I'm the one that opened up the case, and all these other women came forward. And it took a lot to do that for these women to come forward. It took a lot for me to do what I did because I was his friend for a very long time. But what I don't understand is why it took so long. I mean, I get it, dementia, whatever, okay? But in the meantime, our life has been in limbo because there's no plea, there's no verdict. No one can move on. It's hard to live life like that in limbo, up in the air,
Yeah.
But now we know he's out and free, and he's probably eating a cheeseburger and watching TV. It's not fair. It's just absolutely not fair to us at all. It's devastating.
Yeah.
We're all in shock, extremely shocked.
And you formed a support group with the other, like a personal support group with these other victims.
Yeah,
right?
I'm friends with a few of the Jane Does of the case, and you should it's sad. It's heartbreaking because these are good women that got involved with a monster, and now their life is twisted. you know, and you have to untwist it to get back to normal reality, and it's difficult when we don't know what direction to go into, and these women are just, it's sad. It's so sad. I got justice. I mean, I took them to civil court or whatever, but I tell you what, money doesn't buy happiness. Justice does.
Yeah, and money can't fix trauma.
It can't. No, it can't. And I vouch for that. I mean, we're still scarred. We're scarred for the rest of our lives.
And with that, you know, and it's a difficult thing because in your case, you know, you're friends with. You were friends with Ron. I used to always see pictures of you two.
He knew my children. He knew my parents.
And he, you know, when you say, I can imagine. I mean, I can't imagine. I can't, you know, begin to imagine what you've been through. But to say, like, yeah, this happened to me by him, there must be some, like, victim shaming there. Like, well, you were friends with, you know, Ron Jeremy.
Oh,
you know, like what did you expect that, you know, kind of thing.
I've been harassed for like the last 3.5 years. I have to change my phone number. I gotta live. I mean, he has his fans. Ron has his fans, you know, and obviously they're not right in their mind. So yeah, it comes with the territory. You just have to have thick skin and let it roll off. But in the meantime, there's all these Jane Does, and I went through it. I've been there. I know how they feel. But I got through it, you know, and I hope and pray that these women do too. But they got no justice. I don't have any justice. We don't have any justice. And victims, I mean, it's difficult. It's really difficult. And I don't think that the LA County understands how devastating and how let down they have done to us, you know? It's horrible.
Right.
Horrible.
And personally, I've never heard of a case where, due to deteriorating health, they just, like, let somebody go.
Yeah, and you know, that's another thing. There's a lot of sick criminals. Dementia, mentally, whatever. Sick criminals. So what is LA going to do? Let out the other sick criminals? Is that fair? Is that justice? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. It doesn't matter. He's still a rapist. He was charged. Yes, he hasn't been convicted, but he's been charged. 34 charges, 23 victims, 12 counts of rape. But we're going to go and release him. Do you see where there's a wrong? This is very wrong. It's wrong.
And
you know,
how are
you can't feel sorry for someone like that. You can't feel sorry for someone that's a rapist. You know,
he's pretty much a monster. You know.
Oh yeah.
Because this was predatory behavior, because a lot of the stories are very similar. And like, I believe the Rainbow Room, right, is getting sued.
Yeah, that was Ron's playground. That's where he preyed on victims. That was where, I mean, that place needs to be shut down. Shut down. And I've been there so many times with Ron. No, I didn't witness any of that because, you know, it's the Rainbow Room. There's celebrities. It was a nice hangout, a nice restaurant. But at that time, I had no clue what he was doing.
Yeah. Well, and the Rainbow Room was very famous in the 80s and 90s because that's where all the Motley Crues and the Guns N' Roses, and that's where they all hung out.
Oh, yeah. Hanging out with Ron, I met all kinds of celebrities. Korn and, I mean, Steve-O. I became friends with a lot of celebrities there. And I'm not saying that the Rainbow Room was bad. But undercover, Ron hung out there. That was his playground to pray. And I'm sure they knew what was going on. There was a private restroom in the kitchen, supposedly, where Ron would take these women and rape them. Yeah. I mean, that place needs to be shut down.
And his MO would be he would lure people into the bathroom and assault them.
Yeah, and that's disgusting. And I know that they're being sued. I know that, you know, there's a lawsuit going on, but it's still up and running. Thankfully, Ron's not on that playground anymore, but just to be a part of him and that whole, you know, rape going on, that needs to be, somebody needs to take accountability for that. Don't you think? I mean,
Yeah,
it's wrong.
but and there's also like really no recourse at this point, correct?
They're letting him go. It's like get out of jail free card. That's basically what it is. They're basically throwing Ron out to the curb and letting society take care of him. And I don't care. I think that they think, this is what I'm saying, this is my opinion, I believe they think he's going to die anytime soon, and they don't want to be a part of it. I mean, this is what I believe, But who in their right mind would release a rapist? Who would do that? Have you heard of that? I mean, this is unbelievable. It's shocking.
No, I mean, he didn't, justice wasn't served.
Not at all. Not at all. And it never will be. It never will be. That's the problem we have right now. And there's 23 Jane Does who won't have justice, including myself and the other victims that aren't part of the case. There's over 50 women that he raped. We lost, basically. We lost. And now we got to suffer. You know?
And I'm sure that causes like anxiety and sleepless nights.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Who would release a serial rapist? Who would do that? And what about our victims? He's going to have round the clock medical care? What about round the clock protection for victims? You see where this is not fair? Yeah. The justice system has failed. It has failed.
Yeah, especially if he has his, psycho fans, stalking you.
Yeah, too. And I've been stalked multiple times. I mean, it doesn't matter. These people are still his fans, and they're sick. And I mean, I have to live like that too. For the rest of my life, I gotta live looking over my shoulder. How do you think these other women have to live?
Yeah. And they also will not have the chance to also bring civil lawsuits against him.
They can't because there's no plea and there's no verdict. They can sue the Rainbow Room. That's going on right now. They can all sue the Rainbow Room. Ron has a conservator where they're in charge of his estate. So, I mean, I'm not saying I was the lucky one and walked away with his money. I'm still scarred. I'm not fixed. I have PTSD for probably the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like I said, money doesn't buy happiness. But these Jane Does who I'm in contact with, they're still scared. They've been scared for almost 4 years. They're scared. They don't know what to do. They don't know what direction. And now we find out that they're going to release this man, this monster. Imagine how these women are living. It's horrible. And these are good women. Just something bad happened to them,
Yeah.
People need to understand that it doesn't matter if they're in the industry, if they're not. It doesn't matter. It's not what they do. It's about what he did,
Yeah. I don't know. It's just sickening, in the whole,
he's a charged rapist. He's a rapist. I don't care. He is a charged rapist, and they're letting him out because he has dementia. Do you see the sickness in that? I think the judge probably should be evaluated. I hate to be that way, but they need to put us victims, us survivors, and understand where we have to live now,
Well,
you don't just let out a rapist. You just don't do it.
And, I think it's tough, too, and anything like these Me Too women, it takes a lot of strength to come out against powerful people.
Well, I'm with the Me Too movement, and yes, I always will be. I mean, we're good people. We just got involved with a bad man, and it's just so shocking. Like, I think I've been in shock since Friday when I found out, and our life is not going to get better. We're going to have to just live like this, and we have to accept that they released Ron. They released a rapist, a serial rapist on top of it.
Right. Well, at least you have a support system among yourselves, that can do that.
We do.
And hopefully getting the word out draws a little more outrage to this case on it, and maybe LA County can rethink what they're doing by releasing someone like that.
Well, it's, the DA Gascon. I don't think that he cares about his city, his people, and especially victims. So I think LA needs to just, this is a real personal and touchy situation in my life. And, I mean, yes, we won the civil case, but that's, like I said, that doesn't bring justice. And now you have Gascon, the DA, who says, okay, we're going to let him go. It's so unfair. It's not safe. And it's putting our lives and the Jane Doe lives and all the other victims' lives at jeopardy. Now the nightmare starts over. It's going to be, it's a nightmare. It's a living nightmare. I'm so upset. I'm so pissed. I'm so angry. I'm sad, confused. It's just...
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
I wish I had a better answer for you, but maybe just getting the word out and, having some people, talk about how this isn't fair. And I don't know what else you can do other than that, other than being a support system for each other, support each other.
We do. We're all bonded now because of this, but it takes a lot. I mean, it's taking our breath away, because we now have to, even though I know he's sick, I know he has dementia, okay, but like I said, he's still a rapist. He doesn't have handcuffs on him, and he's not sitting in jail. He's a criminal. He needs to sit in that cell until the day he dies. I mean, I'm sorry, but he committed crimes. He needs to pay for his crimes. Not by releasing him. That's not the answer. We trusted in the justice system, and now they have failed us. So they need to reevaluate their choices of releasing criminals to the public. Because now, who knows? He's been allegedly sexually assaulting his medical staff. So, I mean, is this going to be continued until he dies? And is it okay? It's not okay. It's not okay for them to do this. It's not okay. It's not. It's not acceptable. I mean, I'm so pissed. I'm so angry. And these other women, I'm a pretty strong woman, okay? I'm thick-skinned. I've been doing good, I got through it. I shut that chapter, but now it's like a whole new chapter is beginning. I don't think we're not even going to have justice, even when he passes away. We're not going to have justice. There's no such thing now, because LA County doesn't care. They don't care.
And this just, as much as he healed over the last couple of years, this just like tore the wound open again.
Oh yeah, it's a salted wound. It hurts. It hurts. It's upsetting. It's devastating. It's shocking. You might as well let Charlie Manson out. I mean, because Ron Jeremy's just as bad. But I guess in LA County, they don't see it that way. Well, they need to see it our way. They need to see it our way, how we feel. We need to be protected, too. You don't just throw a rapist out to the streets like that in public. I don't care if he's sick. That's no excuse for his behavior.
Yeah, and the thing is that, I mean, I guess this is the highest profile. I think I said earlier that I have never heard of this, but I actually have heard of similar things of, restraining orders being dropped on a judge's discretion, and sometimes that ends really bad.
That paper's not going to save people's lives. I mean, a restraining order, that's just a court document. That doesn't save a woman who's in fear of their life. It's a paper. I mean, restraining orders. You know, at this point, it's like we have to accept what's going on, and it's really, really difficult to accept what's going on.
Well, I mean, I think all of you were brave in coming out and bringing these allegations against him.
Yes,
and
extremely
hopefully,
brave, and that's why, I mean, we're still suffering. We're still suffering, you know? The Jane Does, they're still suffering. We want peace and justice. That's what we want.
Well, that's not going to happen.
It's not, and it's difficult to live with that. LA County should be ashamed. They should be ashamed for letting out Ron Jeremy, a serial rapist. They should be ashamed.
Okay, well, we'll get the word out on this, and you know, if anybody who hears this and wants to give their thoughts to the, you know, to the court system of Los Angeles County, you know, and share your outrage and your disappointment.
Yes,
and
please do.
I don't know what else to say or do. I mean, this is just, when you told me over the weekend, I was just like kind of just baffled.
It's shocking. It's shocking. It's going to take a while to unshock us, you know? So we just got to pray that we're going to be safe, you know?
Yeah, and hopefully, you know, karma takes its course, you know.
What goes around comes around. And you know what? I mean, I don't wish any harm on anybody.
Right.
But I also never thought that LA County would release a serial rapist. So, like I said, my opinion, the justice system in LA has failed us. And all we can do now is, you know, look forward and see what we can do to, you know, somehow throw our opinions to the LA District Attorney and, you know, the judges who allowed this, and let them know how they let us down. They have to sleep with this, you know? Yeah. They have to sleep with this decision. And, you know, we just want justice, that's all.
Yeah, and hopefully, and it won't be through the justice system, but he gets what he deserves for being a sexual predator.
What goes around comes around. I strongly believe in that.
Okay.
So.
All right, Charity, hang on the phone for a minute, okay? We're going to wrap this up. I just want to talk to you about a couple things, okay? So that's it. Thank you for coming on. It takes a lot of courage to come out and, you know, talk about these things, but the word should get out for you and also the other victims.
Yes. Yes. Just pray for us.
Okay. All right, well, thank you. Okay.
You're welcome. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.